Hi, this is Benjamin Sears. Welcome to Movement Snacks. Since I typically post these on Sunday, I thought this week we'd go with a more mellow approach to just unwinding the neck, and I couldn't help but bring you out into my beautiful new backyard for that. So start in a kneeling position, and if you need to sit on something to elevate your hips, you can even do this sitting in a chair. Hands on your knees and squeeze your knees together a little bit. So we want to firm your base by squeezing your knees together, and inhale, pack some air into your belly so that everything feels pretty stable. And then we're going to isolate your shoulder blades by placing your hands on your legs. Keep some contact there and some pressure, and keep your elbows tight, and then slowly start to circle your shoulder blades and notice all the movements when it feels like you might start to lose the tension in your triceps and elbows, or when your ribs want to flare or your knees come apart, and also when your neck wants to adjust. So what we're trying to do is actually make space for the neck by getting the shoulder blades and scapulae to move on their own. And this work really works best if you bring the kind of mind into it that is looking for information as opposed to trying to complete an amount of time or an amount of repetitions. So notice, for example, like I can feel a distinction between the way that my left tricep is able to contract when I retract my shoulder blades versus the right. Keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth and your hands in contact with your legs, and all of these points of contact will give your neurology information about what your shoulder blades are truly doing. So continue to these circles. Keep your elbows straight. Shoulder blades go up, back, down, and forward without any deviation anywhere else. You can add your breath to it so that you have yet another way to make contact with yourself. Let the sound of your breath in your ears soothe you, like going to the ocean and listening to the waves. Let's pause. Put your hands on your thighs and push down with your hands to pull back with your shoulders. You're going to stay in that feeling of contraction underneath your arms and your armpits in order to change directions, and then use that neurological reference in order to continue the movement of your shoulder blades in this circular motion with less and less compensation. So try not to dip or lift your chin, and feel for pulling from the back of your shoulders, and then a little contraction in the front of your shoulders as you come forward. We'll go in this direction for about 30 more seconds, and even though I gave you the time duration, try not to speed up. In other words, savor each rotation as an opportunity for information and insight, just like, you know, when you eat, you're supposed to take, like, I think 36 chews. That's what my Ayurveda teacher told me once, 36 chews for every morsel of food. Nice. Next time you come up, give yourself a hug, and right here, round forward in your spine. Try to bring your elbows towards your knees, and then pause there and inhale into your back. Exhale, let your chin fall, let your shoulders fall, and press your elbows into your body to round a little more. Nice. And then come on back up. Keep your right arm under, take your left arm over to the right side and push your arms into each other. And as you're doing that, pull your left shoulder blade down your back so you feel activation in the back of your armpit. So we want a little resistance at the end of the stretch here to the back of the shoulder. Glide your chin back a little bit so that your throat is right over your first chakra, and just continue to press your arms into each other. You'll feel a little bit of a ramping of tension there. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, let the top hand win and just pull yourself a little bit more into a stretch across your body, keeping your arms straight. And then find that new point of stretch and push your arm into your assisting arm and your assisting arm into your stretching arm. And again, just keep good contact, like a dance, you know, both partners meeting each other in the middle, which is really where the magic happens. It's in the middle. So you always want to mediate. And that's how you become a magician, because what does a magician do? Mediates forces. Exhale, and then pull across a little more. Feel that stretch across the back of your shoulder without letting the shoulder head go up towards your ear. Nice. And then from there, you're going to take your assisting hand away, but try not to let your other hand move. Your chest will contract a little bit. Just turn your palm up into external rotation. Bring your arm out to the side, and then bend your elbow like this, keeping your shoulder pulled back and down. Let's do slow rotations axial rotations of the shoulder here, keeping the shoulder pulled back. You can even put a finger on the front of your shoulder so that you really get a clear awareness that the head of the shoulder is not moving, but the arm bone is moving in the shoulder. Now, as we do these rotations into external rotation on the way up and internal rotation on the way down, start to add a little bit more tension into the movement and keep your ribs quiet and together and your knees pulled together too. Next time you come into external rotation, pause there, take an inhale. On the exhale, pull your shoulder blade back and down and just try to reach your fist a little bit more backwards without anything else moving. Again, inhale. Exhale, fist pulls back, shoulder blade pulls back, and you can feel how like this part of your neck can actually stay soft while you're working the back of the shoulder, and that'll help make some space for your neck. Take another inhale. Exhale, pull the fist backwards without letting the elbow drop or lift, and then just take your arm over your head, hold onto your ear, and you're going to let yourself fall into a little stretch to the left here, but I want you to resist with your head into your hand. So I don't want just your hand pulling on your head, but resist with your head into your hand so that you feel both a stretch and an activation in the tissue on the right side of your neck. I feel it even in like my collarbone area and chest. We're going to stay here, press head into hand and hand into head. Every once in a while you can let yourself get a little bit more range, but again, I don't want just a stretch. I want activation at the end point of the stretch with your hand pulling and your head pushing equally into each other. And it doesn't have to be a hard push at all. It's not essential. Just enough that the isometric is balanced on both sides. In other words, that there's an equal and opposite force, again, meeting in the middle to make some magic as a mediator. Push hand into head into hand. Nice. Just a few more seconds here. Good. And then to come out of the stretch, push your head into your hand. And then bring that arm down. This time, right arm goes under left. Again, round forward. And hold there. Inhale across your back. Exhale, let your chin fall. Let your shoulders fall and round into yourself a little bit more. And then come up. Switch arms. Right arm goes on top. Left arm comes over and pull your arm across into a stretch, all the while pushing your arm into your hand and your hand into your arm. So you feel a nice stretch in the back of the shoulder, but I want you to also resist that stretch here. So I'm pushing my arm into my other arm, and there's a slight pulling back of the shoulder. So I'm not letting my shoulder blade come all the way across. I'm kind of resisting at the end of that movement. Next, exhale, relax for a moment, give yourself a little more stretch across, and then push your arm into your opposite arm and keep the resistance. You can also push down with the arm that's stretching and push up a little bit with the arm that's assisting, and that'll give you a little bit more activation in the back of the shoulder. And as you're doing that, pull your shoulder blade this side down, away and out of your ear, so that you feel like you're making a little bit more space in there for your arm. Nice. Exhale, stretch a little more, and then find that new point of resistance for about 10 seconds here. Take an inhale. Remove the assisting arm and try to keep the arm in that position. You'll feel your chest muscles contract, and then turn your palm up, externally rotate your arm, bring your arm out to the side, make a fist and bend your elbow, and then we go into these axial rotations. So axial rotation just means that we're isolating the rotation of one joint at a time. So if you notice, like, my elbow is actually not changing its position, and I'm really pulling my shoulder blade back and down so that I'm just turning this arm bone inside the shoulder. And this simple basic movement, cleaning this up, can do a lot towards healing shoulders and neck if you spend enough time on these movements. It's really about accruing enough time under tension that it does something for you. So keep pulling the shoulder blade back and down. Fist goes down, but when your fist goes down, elbow doesn't come down. Fist goes back, shoulder blade stays back and down. Keep your armpit muscles active and engaged. Nice. Pause in external rotation, take an inhale. And then for a few exhales, try to reach your fist backwards while pulling your shoulder blade down. Right, so you just see I lost that angle a little bit. I don't want to lose the angle. Keep trying to pull the fist backwards. You should feel activation in the back of your shoulder and avoid the temptation to let this part of you or this part of you come forwards. Nice, and then that arm goes up over your head, hold your head, let yourself fall a little bit into a stretch, and then resist against the stretch. Keep your breath pretty quiet through your nose. Push your hand into your head and your head into your hand. And you can feel how like there's a different type of stretch when you just pull on your head versus when you make a little resistance there, a little isometric activation. So that once again you're meeting in the middle of the stretch, and what it does is it speaks to your neurology in a different way that says that, okay, we have a little strength in this range of motion, so we'll give you a little more space. And oftentimes when something feels tight, especially in the neck, the muscles might be tight, but there might also just be a lot of compensation in your neck from other areas that aren't contributing to the global movement the way that they could in order to give you a little bit more freedom. So hand pushes head, head pushes hand, and then relax a little more into the stretch if you feel comfortable doing so. And again, meet your head with your hand and your hand with your head. Feels quite nice. I'm kind of getting lost in the stretch a little bit. Nice. And then I want to get you off your knees, so come on out of there and just lean to the left and take your right leg out for a Janushirasana position and make good contact between your foot and your thigh. Reach through the ball of your foot and put your right hand down, and then turn your ribs to the left so that you're laterally towards your leg. And then we're really going to go into like a nice passive stretch here, since there's been a fair amount of prep. So crawl your fingers out to the side and then take an inhale and pull with both hands to lengthen your back. And on the exhale, press your foot into your thigh and just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. And when you're ready, you can lift your left hand from the floor. So place your tongue on the roof of your mouth and breathe down into your belly. And then take some time with this to feel your own rate of release here. So it also might be too much for your neck, in which case you could prop up your head with your hand like this or with a yoga block or something. But I'm really going to allow myself to kind of fall into this stretch. And it's not just about dropping your head, but one of the real beauties of this neck release is to be able to stay active in your legs and core while your head relaxes. Then you can also find more intensity by positioning your left shoulder blade, this hand, back and down and reaching through your fingers a little bit more. Put your tongue on the roof of your mouth where you would say love or light, and move a little bit of your own tenderness and sweetness like into your own neck here. You don't have to let anything go all at once. It doesn't work like that. Just allow yourself like maybe just a little more space bit by bit. Roll left shoulder back. Good. Reach through your fingers. Let go a little bit more in your neck if you can. Keep your foot pressing your thigh and your right foot active. Notice my foot's not dropping to the side. And breathe as if you could breathe through every single pore in your skin. I just got a lot more in my left shoulder by reaching down and back a little bit. And then at the end here, take your right hand to your head and push your hand into your head and your head into your hand. Right? So I don't want you to just lift up your head. I actually want you to push your hand into your head and see if you can get a little more range that way at the end. And then again, that's sort of like a neurological memory that like, okay, we have a little strength in that range. And then from there, you're going to push your hand into your head and your head into your hand, resisting on the way up. Nice. And then just drop your chin to your chest. Circle your neck to the left, over to the right, and back to center. And then change the cross of your legs. So left leg out, right leg in. Make good contact with your foot against your thigh. Put your hand down. So this hand is a pulling hand. So pull so that you feel some activation here and turn your ribs to the right. And then reach out with your fingers. And as you're ready, drop your left ear to your left shoulder. And again, if you need to support your head or put a block, kind of like as if you were holding a violin there, you could do that, or a pillow. Let your head drop when you're ready. So also keeping action in your feet, like you can see my left foot is floated, I push my foot into your thigh and then inhale down into your core. So it's okay to make a little tension there so that you can lift your hand and let go a little more in the neck. And so the metaphor is beautiful here, because really it's like you're giving yourself enough support in your first two floors that your brain can kind of get a break. So wash an energy of kindness and forgiveness and sweetness through the right side of your neck. And it's not always about like going deeper every moment. Instead, get interested in your breathing. Stay aware through the entire landscape of your body. So from your right fingers to your right foot, to the heel of your left foot pulling, to your left hand pulling, down into your deep core. And just by doing all those little things, see what happens in your neck instead of trying to force a stretch. Like, let this practice be one where all of the micro movements actually bring you stillness and quiet and peace. Let your head go a little more if you can. Again, it's not like there's no rush here. It's just about feeling a little bit better. And the feeling a little bit better is not just about, the physical piece. It's like how the physical piece takes you into yourself. And how you can perform a certain alchemy. It's almost like you breathe in this way and take this time for yourself, and it's kind of like doing loving kindness meditation. Exhale. Each time, soften a little more if you can. Spread your right fingers. Keep your feet active. So that's a nice way to stay embodied. And to let your head go is to have good ground underneath you. And then remember, when it's time to come up, what you're going to do is take your left hand to your head and push your head into your hand and your hand into your head. And then see if you can actually push your hand down a little more so you kind of come into a bit of an active stretch. And then inhale and push your hand into your head and your head into your hand as you slowly bring your head up. And then you can cross your ankles, hands on your knees, and take a few slow neck circles, leading with your chin. And I don't know about you, but I feel like a fair amount of space opened up for my neck through this short practice. Pause, change directions. Nice. One more in that other direction. And then we're going to finish lying down with sort of a chest opening position. It can be a little tricky or feel a little weird at first, but what you're going to do is interlace your hands behind your back with your palms facing out, and then bring yourself down onto your mat and just lie right down on top of your hands in the middle of your back like that, and let your head drop. And it can feel a little intense at first, and the sky is so beautiful, but let your elbows drop, let your shoulders drop, and again, rather than trying to rush anything, let yourself be in the middle of the moment, observing all the fluctuations throughout your body. Keep your fingers well interlaced, well strung. And then bring your awareness to your right palm center and inhale from the center of your right palm through the center of your chest out to your left elbow, and then from your left elbow to your left palm. And now inhale through your left palm through the center of your chest out to your right elbow. Exhale around your back to your right palm. Inhale right palm through the center of your chest out to your left elbow. Exhale around your back to your left palm. Inhale left palm through center of chest out to right elbow. Exhale back to the center of your right palm. Inhale right palm through the center of your chest out to your left elbow. Exhale back to your left palm. Again, inhale left palm through center of chest out to right elbow. Exhale back to the center of your right palm, all the way to the front of your chest this time, and then we'll change directions. So inhale from the center of your chest, your heart center, through your back,
through to your right palm, out to your right elbow. Exhale around the front to the center of your chest. Inhale, center of chest to left palm, out to left elbow. Exhale around the front of you, back to the center of your chest. Inhale, center chest through your body to your right palm, out to your right elbow. Exhale, right elbow around in front of you, back to the center of your chest. Inhale, center of chest through left palm, out to left elbow. Exhale around in front of you, back to the center of your chest. Inhale, center of chest through your body, right palm, right elbow. Exhale, right elbow around in front of you to the center of your chest. See if you can drop your shoulders. Inhale, center of chest to left palm, out to left elbow. Exhale around the front of you, back to the center of your chest. Now from the center of your chest, imagine inhaling forward and backwards. And back to center. And now take your inhale from the center of your chest to your left and right elbow. And back to the center of your chest. From here, take your inhale from your center of your chest up to the crown of your head and down to your perineum. Back to the center of your chest. Now go from center of chest out spherically in every direction you can imagine. Forward, backward, outwards, downwards, leftwards, rightwards, upwards, and back to the center of your chest. And then just be in the being for a moment. How do you get out of this? Well, put your feet down like as if you're going to do a little bridge. And then you can lift your hips up. Slide your hands out. And don't shake them out or anything. Just let yourself have a feeling moment. You might want to lie right back down and rest more. Or join me. Come on up.
Bring your hands to prayer, where you repair when two become one. And take a little of this open and calm energy into whatever the rest of the day has in store for you. Thanks for joining me to practice.